Hello everyone, John12 back here again with another video, and today I'm doing another episode of John12's comic book reads. Basically, if you are a first timer to my channel, I started this new segment where I basically pull out my comic book collection that ranges from the Silver Age all the way to the modern age of comics, and basically randomly pick one out and just give a very organically spoken read of it, and hopefully encourage young up-and-comer fans of the comic book industry get more involved in, obviously, the community, and of course support your local comic book stores, and hopefully encourage, people to be more into comic books, because it's all fun and games to be fans of the movies. It's like, oh wow, SpiderMan, I can't wait to see the next movie. Yeah, well, you need to fucking get more involved in the comic book history. I mean, come on. It's just insanity when you go to see Amazing Spider-Man 2 and actually feel surprised that Gwen Stacy died. Wow, you really were surprised? I mean, first, if you read the comics, well, then again, it is a double standard. I mean, like, you don't really need to read the comics to know. I mean, Sony pretty much told you right there and then in the trailers, but that's not the point of this video. It's about reading comics. The thing that's really important to these people, folks. This is what's really important. But today, I've randomly selected a Marvel comic book, and it's fucking awesome, I have to say myself. I mean, like I said in most of these comic book reviews, not every single comic book is a masterpiece in the industry, but they're all very good reads, and it's all important to just to get into that world. And today I pulled out Spider-Man 2099, issue number 1, of course. And if you're a fan of Spider-Man and just like futuristic, like metropolises and utopias, and you're just into like stuff like Batman Beyond and stuff like that, then you're gonna be fully blown away from this 90s comic book series titled Spider-Man 2099. Of course, it's set in the future of New York. Of course, we're dealing with a new type of Spider-Man. This comic book series and this fictional universe was created by Peter David and Rick Leonardi back in the 90s, and obviously it has a new Spider-Man, the first Hispanic Spider-Man, that is. And of course, his name is Miguel O'Hara. And the overall thing that I like about this this series, specifically this first issue, is how it starts off. Most obviously, if you're in the Spider-Man comics, you're gonna have to need some really epic scenarios and some really good, like, Spider-Man, just big old splash panels of Spider-Man just jumping and leaping and doing his crazy stuff, because that's what Spider-Man does. He jumps around and does really cool acrobatic stuff, and that's really what they accomplished in this first set. I mean, like, I don't see really how they could have started any other way. I mean, like, it's just really cool. Like, we have Spider-Man in a new costume, which I really like this costume versus the classic version, but it's kind of like the black version of the costume. But anyways, I love this new suit. He's obviously trying to get away. He's not. You're not really kind of getting the feeling that he's actually a hero yet, but you definitely get the feel that this is Spider-Man, and he's just doing his thing. He's getting shot out. He's jumping around, just flying through the air. Really awesome. Really good, nice fights and explosions. Really awesome. Really cool. The main thing that I really like about it is the artwork. The artwork is really freaking awesome. I love the way the city looks. It's very colorful. Mostly in comics, that's usually what happens. They usually make everything look very colorful. But I definitely think they achieved a really nice piece here with the colors and the artistry. But past that fact, we get a really good scenario with Spider-Man through the city trying to accomplish his thing, and then we get into kind of we get a good relapse of that with Miguel obviously struggling with his own life. He's obviously living in this futuristic New York, which is really cool. I mean, like, comic books usually like to dove into the future and like to make future stuff. I mean, they've been doing it ever since, like, the Iron Man days, especially Marvel. But the future of New York in this scenario looks pretty fucking cool. I mean, there's holograms all over the place. There's fucking flying motorcycles and stuff. It's not really out of the realm, but it's just visually interesting. Then you get to see like his job and how he admires Spider-Man. You get this really good couple panels where he's discussing Spider-Man and how much he admires him. Ben, basically, Miguel works at this genetics lab, ironically, essentially trying to create meta-humans. That's what the overall factory that he works at is trying to do. They're basically trying to create meta-humans based off of Spider-Man so they can create some kind of super soldier program. Ain't that ironic? I mean, then again, it is Marvel. They do this a lot. Essentially, he's dealing with a lot of problems. He doesn't want to deal with all this crap. He's having problems with the hierarchy of it all. He's also dealing with love issues, which most Spider-Man characters do. You know, they have various love issues and love relationships and love triangles that vary throughout the years. But this one's pretty awesome. But of course, the climax of the whole comic is essentially that he gets double-crossed by one of his colleagues. Of course, is experimenting on himself, but of course things go terribly wrong when he gets double-crossed, and of course ends with this really nice shot of him looking really fucking just really crazy and demonic. It's really fucking cool. And that's pretty much the end of the comic. The comic book itself and the comic book series is really great. Of course, if you are a fan of Spider-Man movies and comic books, then and video games especially, then you know all about Spider-Man 2099. But it's definitely a great issue, definitely a great series, and I think is one of the coolest versions of Spider-Man, other than, you know, the Peter Parker version. But essentially, at the end of the day, I don't really give ratings to comic book reviews. You know, I do that with movies and television, but when it comes to comic books, I exit out the rating system. It's all bullshit. Comic books are comic books. Like I said, they're not all masterpieces, but they're all great pieces of artistry and literature, and maybe not all of them are great, but some of them are awesome, and this one is definitely a great issue. It definitely changes the landscape of the Spider-Man universe, and definitely gives some good additions. It's definitely the Batman Beyond of the Spider-Man universe, and if you're into Batman Beyond, then you're definitely going to be into Spider-Man 2099. This has been the first, my personal thoughts and my comic book read of the first issue. I love, everything is okay, but the biggest things I really like is the holograms. I also like the futuristic look of New York, as they call it, where Miguel lives is Babylon Tower. I think it looks really cool. But the biggest thing that I really like is, of course, Spider-Man in action. He's just really cool looking. The costume is really badass, and he's just slinging it. You know, it's, subliminal messaging, but it's fucking awesome. I just love it all. Spider-Man 2099 issue number 1. That's been my review. Definitely pick it up if you're a humongous Spider-Man fan, which I'm sure you are. I mean, hell, all kids across this fucking United States of ours love the shit out of Spider-Man. I'm just saying, like, the Spider-Man movies are awesome and all, but the number one people who are in there in the fucking aisles are fucking kids. So if you're a fucking kid and you want to get into Spider-Man comic books that fucking inspired me back in the 90s when I was a kid, definitely pick up Spider-Man 2099, because it's definitely going to rock your fucking world. It's definitely going to show you a new side of Spider-Man, a more relatable version, because, of course, all a Spider-Man is all about being relatable. So, of course, Spider-Man 2099, issue number 1, that's been my review, my personal thoughts. The series itself is an A+ in my opinion. I just love that whole futuristic side of comic books, and I definitely love a newer, more demonic-looking version of Spider-Man, because after a certain period of time, the whole Boy Scout goody-goody version of Spider-Man definitely gets old. So it's definitely good to have a more demonic version. But this has been my review of Spider-Man 2099. If you're a Marvel Comics fan or a Spider-Man fan, which I'm sure you all are, pick it up. Definitely pick it up. And that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review of 90s version of Spider-Man. My good old version of Spider-Man that I personally liked reading as a kid. So that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed.